Why do we keep chasing people, thinking that it's the only way to make them see our value? Many people spend years running after someone, pouring in endless energy and effort, convinced that if they just keep trying, the other person will finally notice them. But what if we've been looking at this the wrong way all along? What if the real key isn't in the chase but in letting go, stepping back, and focusing that energy on ourselves? Imagine shifting your focus entirely, working on your own goals, building your self-confidence, and growing into the person you truly want to be. When you do this, something incredible happens. You start to attract the right people into your life naturally, without forcing it, without proving anything. In this video, we're going to explore why attraction is far more powerful than the chase, and how this shift can lead you to connect with someone who truly values you for who you are. Stay tuned as we dive into this powerful idea, and let's uncover together what it means to truly attract the right person. Let's face it, when you're constantly chasing someone, it's exhausting. Every time you reach out, send a message, or try to make plans, only to be met with silence or half-hearted responses, it starts to wear you down. The more you chase, the more it feels like they're slipping away, and yet we keep trying. What? Because deep down, we hope that if we just try a little harder, they'll finally see us, finally value us, finally choose us. But here's the hard truth. The more effort you put into trying to be noticed, the less they actually see you. Because when you're always available, always eager, it can come across as desperate, and desperation rarely leads to genuine attraction. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself analyzing every single word, every emoji, wondering if this is the time they'll finally respond with the same energy? This constant cycle of overthinking each interaction, trying to figure out how to get their attention, can start to take over your mind. You're not just investing time, you're investing emotional energy, and it's all directed towards someone who may not even be willing to give back. But what happens to you in the process? It leaves you feeling drained, even empty, and often, it chips away at your confidence bit by bit. You start to wonder if there's something wrong with you, if you're just not enough. And that feeling, constantly questioning your own worth, can be one of the heaviest burdens to carry. Imagine pouring all of your energy into someone like filling a bucket with holes. No matter how much you pour in, it never fills up. It's always leaking, leaving you feeling like you're just not doing enough. And in the end, this pursuit doesn't just take time. It takes a toll on your self-esteem, on your sense of self-worth. It makes you forget what it feels like to be valued without having to fight for it. But imagine just for a moment if you took all that energy, all that time, and focused it on yourself. How would things change if, instead of chasing someone else, you invested in becoming the person you want to be? It wouldn't leave you feeling empty or questioning your worth, because you'd be pouring into something that grows and fulfills you, yourself. Now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: your own sense of worth. When you're always trying to get someone else's attention, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: how you see yourself. We've all been there, focusing so much on how someone else perceives us that we forget to ask ourselves, what do I actually bring to the table? This is where understanding your own value becomes crucial. It's about taking a step back and realizing that you don't need someone else's approval to feel complete. Imagine this. What if, instead of chasing after someone, you spent that time building yourself up? You could start by doing things that make you feel confident and fulfilled, things that add to your life. Maybe it's working on a skill you've always wanted to master, pursuing a passion, or setting personal goals that challenge you. Every time you accomplish something, no matter how small, it reinforces your sense of self-worth. And when you feel good about who you are, that confidence shines through. But building self-worth isn't just about achievements. It's also about learning to value who you are, flaws and all. We all have insecurities, things we wish we could change, but part of understanding your worth is accepting these things as part of you. It's about treating yourself with kindness, letting go of perfection, and recognizing that you deserve respect and love, just as you are. This isn't always easy, and it takes time, but each step you take towards self-acceptance makes you stronger and more resilient. Now, think about how this change in perspective affects the people around you. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, you naturally attract people who see and appreciate that in you. Instead of bending over backward to get someone's attention, you start to attract those who are genuinely interested in you, for who you are, not for who you're trying to be. It's a powerful shift because suddenly you're no longer looking for someone to validate your worth. You already know what you bring to the table, and that attracts people who recognize and value that. So, by investing in yourself, by embracing your strengths and even your flaws, you're creating a foundation that doesn't rely on anyone else's approval. And that, more than anything, is what makes you truly attractive. Because when you know your worth, you're no longer chasing. You're simply being yourself, and that alone draws the right people into your life. Now, let's look at one of the most powerful aspects of attraction: authenticity. Think about it. How often do we put on a version of ourselves that we think others want to see? Whether it's trying to sound more interesting, appearing more confident, or hiding parts of who we really are, there's a pressure to be perfect in a way that's simply not real. But here's the truth. People are naturally drawn to those who are genuine. There's something incredibly magnetic about someone who isn't afraid to show who they really are, flaws and all. Imagine meeting someone who is completely themselves. They're not trying to impress, they're just comfortable with who they are. It's refreshing, isn't it? You feel at ease around them, you're more open, and there's an unspoken trust that starts to build. This is the power of authenticity. When you're being true to yourself, you create a space where others feel comfortable being themselves too. It's a kind of connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. It's something deeper. But being authentic doesn't mean just doing whatever you feel like or ignoring others' feelings. It's about aligning with your own values and letting that guide your actions. When you're honest with yourself, you attract people who appreciate that honesty. They're drawn to the real you, not an image you're projecting. And when you connect with someone on this level, it's far more meaningful than anything built on pretense or show. Think about how freeing it would feel to let go of the act, to stop worrying about how you come across and simply be yourself. When you allow yourself to be authentic, you're also giving yourself permission to let go of people who don't align with who you truly are. And while that can seem a little scary at first, it's actually incredibly empowering. You start to realize that you don't need everyone to like you. You just need the right people to see you for who you are. So, the next time you're with someone you're interested in, try letting your guard down a little. Show them a piece of the real you, your quirks, your humor, even your insecurities. Because that's where genuine connection starts. And the best part? When someone connects with the real you, you know it's authentic. They're not drawn to a facade, but to the person you actually are. And that, more than any version you could pretend to be, is what makes you truly attractive. Now let's talk about something that's often overlooked in relationships but is one of the most important factors: time and patience. In a world that values speed and instant results, it can feel strange to take a step back and let things unfold naturally. But here's the thing, truly meaningful connections take time. Rushing into a relationship or trying to force a connection often leads to disappointment, misunderstandings, or even heartbreak. When you allow time to play its part, you're giving yourself the chance to understand who the other person really is, and more importantly, to understand how they fit into your life. Imagine this. You meet someone and there's an immediate spark. Everything feels exciting and intense, but in the rush to build a connection, important aspects of who you both are can get overlooked. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement, but sometimes that initial rush fades, and you're left wondering if you really knew the person at all. By taking your time, you give both of you space to reveal your true selves gradually, without the pressure to be perfect right away. This slow, steady approach helps build a foundation that can withstand challenges, because it's based on reality, not just excitement. And patience doesn't just mean waiting, it's about being present and attentive during that time. It's about getting to know the other person's values, their dreams, and even their fears. These are the things that reveal whether your paths truly align. In a world of instant gratification, taking the time to learn these deeper parts of someone shows a level of commitment that's rare. It shows that you're not just looking for a quick fix or a temporary thrill, but for something that can grow and evolve. Now, think about how patience also benefits you. When you're not in a hurry to label or define things, you're able to reflect on what you truly want and need in a relationship. This patience allows you to avoid the trap of settling for someone who might not actually be a good fit. Instead, you're making space for the right person to come into your life when the timing is right. Sometimes, we try so hard to make things happen on our schedule that we forget that life has its own timing, and often that timing is exactly what we need. Imagine allowing yourself to slow down, to trust that the right person will come along when both of you are truly ready. There's a peace that comes with this mindset, a sense of calm that replaces the anxiety of constantly wondering if you're doing enough or if you're moving fast enough. You're no longer rushing. Instead, you're enjoying the process of getting to know someone, building a connection one step at a time. So, by embracing time and patience, you're creating a space for real connection to grow. You're allowing each moment to be genuine, without the need to rush into a future that isn't clear yet. And when you finally do find someone who values this pace, who's willing to be patient alongside you, you'll know that the connection you're building is rooted in authenticity and strength. It's the kind of connection that isn't just meant to last a season but a lifetime.